Hello everyone, welcome back to Tutorial Thursday. And today's tutorial is on this lovely little Halloween mani that I did. It is a witch flying across the moon graveyard scene. It is glow in the dark and thermal. And the moon is the glow in the dark spot. The rest is thermal. And we're going to go ahead and demonstrate the thermal real quick. I have my ice water to show you what it looks like when it's cold. And so here we are. This is what it looks like when it's cold. Nice spooky night look. And it's kind of a peekaboo mani because some of the images are hard to see when they're cold. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and dry my hand off here since we just dunked it in water. And I'm going to see if I can get a good representation of the glow. Go in with my LED light here and charge the pigment powder and turn the light off. You can see some of the blue glow. Okay, so we're going to put that away and then we're going to turn this light on. And I'm going to show you exactly how I made that mani in this tutorial. We're going to start off with listing of the products. You're going to need a LED UV nail lamp. You're going to need I used a thermal gel polish from black to a grayish clear. This one is from Annabelle. I used Gelish Top It Off and Gelish Top It Off Matte. Okay, now on to the other polishes, the stamping polish and the one that I used to make the fog. I used Luna B327 from Maniology. I used Straight Up Black B171 from Maniology. I also used Calcium Rich Milk Base Coat from Maniology. That is what was used for the fog. I used white sticky stamping polish from She Modern. And sky blue glow in the dark pigment powder. And it's clear translucent powder. You will need a fluffy brush for that as well. And I used stamping plates WSJ-04. This was a part of a Halloween bundle from Amazon, and we're going to be using this witch image right here. We're going to use this Major Digit 12 plate, and we're going to be using this cat image. We also use Maniology M064 for the bats and these trees. We will use Maniology 119 for the moon, and Maniology's M071 for basically this whole row here and this whole row here. Okay, so we will also need acetone, a scraper card, your stamper, cleanup brush, and a nail art brush, a palette. This one's mine here. Of course, your lint roller or sticky stamping station, scotch tape, or anything like that, and some kind of cotton pad, cotton ball, lint-free wipe, or anything like that to clean your plates with. So those are all the things that you will need to do this mani. So I'm going to start with the pinky and work my way around. And so why don't we just jump on into it. I'm going to start by taking my Straight Up Black and this image right here. Now you got to be careful when you're doing this step because you got to make sure that you're high enough high enough on the nail that you don't leave yourself with too little of room to accomplish this look. So I'll start by cleaning that up. I apologize if you hear my son in the background. He is currently home from school. So we want, see where about this line is. We want to be about there. And we want to place the tree to the edge of the nail and go across with our gravestones. And then we want to go over to this side of the image and we want to go in with Luna. Do I have Luna? No, I have calcium rich base coat in my hand. That will not work. Wrong one. And go over these gravestones. Scrape. Clean up our scraper card. Pick up our stamper. Get our gravestone images, and we want to line it up partially over the other gravestones and stamp down. Okay, now I'm going to clean up this little bit around the edge here. Okay, so now that we've got that, alright, just a little bit, we're going to clean up our plate, and we're going to need the major digit plate. And we're going to use it specifically for the cat image. This one right here. And we're going to go in with our straight up black. Just dab that on. Scrape. Pick up. Clean up our image. We don't want that bird. We don't want it to accidentally end up on our mani, so we're going to clean up that all around there. And I apologize for all that ruckus. That was my trash can as I was trying to get to it. Okay, so now we're going to line up the cat kind of down here over these gravestones where you can actually kind of see its shape. It's easier to see it once we get the matte top coat. Okay. So we no longer need this plate. We only needed it for the cat. Alright, now we're going to move on to the next nail. And this is the plate we're going to need. We're going to need Maniology M064. And we're going to be just placing some trees on there in straight up black from this plate. And then after that, we're going to be placing some bats from this plate. Scrape. Pick up. And then off to the side. To get this on camera. Place it like so. And clean up. So now we want these lovely little bats right here. Same color, straight up black. Scrape, grab our stamper, pick up, make sure that there is no extra images that could potentially go onto our nail and ruin our design. Okay. So, if there's a little bit missing on the image, don't worry. You can fill it in with your detail brush. Like you would a reverse stamp. Let it dry for a moment. And then stamp down over by your trees. Clean this polish off my hand here. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our previous plate. The Ouija board plate, which is Maniology M071 for its gravestones at the bottom. So we're going to go in with straight up black first, and we're going to take these gravestones right here. Scrape. Roll, pick up. And then we want to make sure there's nothing that's going to potentially ruin what we are going to put down. So we're going to come in and clean up with our tape. And then, just like before, we don't want it too low on the nail. So we want to line it up roughly here. It's kind of hard to see. Let's see where I've got that. Okay, it leaves a little bit of a gap down here at the bottom. We want that. We want that little bit of a gap. So we're going to go back in with Luna and off to the other side, just like before, onto those gravestones. Tape off here before it sticks to my plate. Okay. And we want to scrape. Pick up. Clean up the design. If I have not already apologized for my son being home and making a bunch of noise, I'm going to do so now. Now that we've got gravestones, we're going to line it up to where it overlaps but does not cover the other gravestones. And that's all you do on that nail. So that nail's complete, and I'm apparently dipping myself in polish. Cool. It's a polish kind of day. Okay, so get myself a fresh cotton ball so this will clean up a little nicer. You probably hear a lot of sniffling from me. I am currently battling a sinus infection, and I know when I'm having this released, it'll seem like I've had a sinus infection for 2 weeks. No, I have only had this sinus infection for a few days, but I pre-record everything as soon as I can, kind of thing, and I'm trying to get where I'm about 1 to 2 days ahead in videos, but I only release 2 days a week, so I currently, I'm only a few days into this, so I apologize for all the sniffling in the last few videos and this one. It shouldn't be too much longer before I'm over whatever infection is in my sinuses right now, because it is improving, but I'm currently heavily medicated with decongestants and vitamins and things like that, just to try to keep this from getting nasty and needing a doctor's visit. Okay, so now we are on to the next part of the mani. So we're going to move on to the Moon and Witch. So this is where we're going to need our glow-in-the-dark powder with its fluffy brush. And sticky stamping polish in white. We're also going to need Luna for this part in the nail art brush, but we will get to that in a moment. We're going to start with the sticky stamping polish, the glow-in-the-dark powder. We take the white sticky stamping polish and get the solid moon image, scrape, pick up, and then we're going to want to clean up around the image as much as possible. Now this stuff is like very wet, stays wet for a long time, so you may have to actually refine the edges of the moon a little bit if you didn't get as clear of a scrape as what this polish likes. It is very sticky. Okay, so you want to line it up at about the center point towards the top of the nail and press down. You know what, I'm going to double layer this one because I did not press as nicely as it normally does. Yeah, because I got that one spot and I don't want to have to cover it with the other image. Okay, so scrape, pick up. I know part of the problem is I'm moving too quickly. This polish actually likes to sit on the stamping plate for a little bit, and I'm not used to moving that slow when stamping. So it's kind of beating up. But that's okay. We can just double stamp it, line it up with the original, and it gives us a little bit of a unique moon. Now, while it's still tacky, we want to go in with the powder. I'll quickly clean this up, move it, and put my powder and dip my brush in. Now we just want to gently tap the powder into the polish. And then once you have tapped onto the polish and got it all soaked into it, brush the excess away. And that's all you need to do to get the glow-in-the-dark effect. Okay, so now that we've done that, this plate is only needed for one more image, which is the outline image right there, and we're going to take Luna, scrape, clean up your scraper card, pick up the outline, clean up around the edges, and then that plate has served its purpose. It is no longer needed. All we needed was that moon. Okay, so clean up. Now we're going to need our nail art brush. We're going to fill in the little like crater images on that outline with the same color. We're just going to use Luna, and I'm just going to take directly from the bottle so we have less waste. And if you're wondering right at this moment, why do we need a palette if you're taking directly from the bottle? That will come there at the very end as to why you need a palette for this mani, when I don't normally use one and I just take directly from the bottle. So you see the little fog in the mani. That is when we're going to use our palette. Is when we do the fog step on the graveyard scene. And so all I'm doing here is I'm filling in all of these little crater images for the moon. And then once I'm done filling those in and cleaning my brush off, we're going to stamp that over the solid glow in the dark moon that we just did. Okay, so I'm going to line it up, and you can have the craters wherever you want. I kind of like it off to the side but still to the top. Line it up and stamp down. You may have to press kind of hard if you don't use a sticky base and you don't move quickly enough. This is what we look like. And now we need to stamp our witch. So we're going to go in with our plate from the bundle from Amazon, and we're going to grab this witch right here. And I'm going to go in with my straight up black. Scrape. And pick up. And once again, if it doesn't pick up all of the image but you have the outline, you can always take your nail art brush and just paint a little black in to fill in the missing image. Okay, so clean up around it. And it's got a cute little kitty on the tail end of the broom. And then we're just going to line it up across the moon. So here's where you can see. And we're going to stamp down. And there's a little bit that went over the edge onto my finger. So we're going to take this cleanup brush and we're just going to get it all cleaned up. So now we have the witch flying across the moon. Okay, so on to the next one. And we will clean up this plate. This is the only image we needed from this plate. So we can go ahead and set this one aside. Fresh cotton ball, or try to anyways. Apparently my little grabby tool is decided that it didn't want to give it up. Okay, so now on to the next nail, which does not have any trees or anything like that. So it does have a lot of layers of gravestones though. So we are going to start with straight up black with this gravestones. And we're going to start at roughly the midpoint of the nail. Alright, close her up. Scrape. Pick up. That's a nice, beautiful pickup. Okay, so we want to line it up at roughly the midpoint of the nail. A hair lower, actually, looks like. And clean up that same image. We're going to go in with Luna. And this is where we're going to do something kind of tricksy with it. Okay. Scrape. Pick up. Clean up around the image. Okay, so we don't want all the same gravestones in the same place, so we're going to line it up to where we have a different gravestone to do half, and then line the other ones up across the other side, just like so. Clean the stamper for the excess. We're going to want to clean up the excess around the edges that's sticking up there. Okay, then we're going to go in with the straight up black again, and the same image. And essentially what we're doing is we're layering these images to make it look like rows of gravestones. But not all the same, even though it's all taken from the same place. To make this design, we try to make it look like it's not all the same exact image. And then we're going to go in and we're going to layer it like so. And then the final one is going to be with Luna, and we're going to take this side. Scrape. Pick up. Okay, I don't have anything above it. So now we're going to layer it over the bottom like so. And then we go in with this plate again. I'm going to take this bat image this time, and there's going to be a lot of removal because we don't want all of those bats, we just want a lot of those bats. Okay, so there's that. Scrape. Pick up. Okay, so we're going to get our tape. And we're going to clean off the castle image. Is where we're going to start with this. And then we're going to start picking off the bats that we don't want. And essentially, this is what we want. And we're going to go in up at the top of the nail and then press down. And there we have it. We have that great, nice, lovely graveyard scene so far, and we're just down to just the thumb. Okay, so this plate we no longer need. Now everything that is left is done with just these two right here on this plate. So we're going to start off with this house on the hill here. And we're going to want that kind of high up on the nail. So, scrape. Pick up. Any excess image we don't want, we want to get rid of. Okay. So, we're going to want to go kind of high up. Put it right here. And go across. Okay. So, now we want to go in with Luna. Grab the gravestones off to the side. Of course, the usual cleanup. Okay. Grab the wrong finger. So now we want to layer it just underneath the house. Okay. Now we want to go in with straight up black and do it again. But we're going to use the breakup method that I did before. Same image, but we're going to break it up a little. We're going to go in like this. And then I need to grab another pickup of this. Okay, so we want to grab, okay, I need to clean off that part of the gravestone because that's not going to work for this. There we go. Then I need to line it up across like so. Okay, now we're going to go in with Luna. We go to the other side. Okay, make sure it's sufficiently filled. Okay. Okay. Now that that is sufficiently filled, we're going to go in and we're going to line this up like so. Okay, I may have gone too far. Let's see if we can still do this. Because we still need our tree at the bottom. Okay. See if it's still possible. Okay. Okay, so now that we have our tree, we're going to want to line it up over the bottom edge. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to clean our plate. Now the stamping part is over. We just need to do the top coating and fog effect, and this mani will be complete. So, this is where we're going to need our palettes, and we're going to take some of the regular clear Top It Off gelish top coat. Let's get this hair out of there. And we're going to get a few drops onto the palette. And we're going to get our calcium rich milky base, and we're going to get a few drops of that on there too. So before we add our fog effect, we need to make sure that we top coat the nail. Otherwise it's going to smudge up the stamping. So top coat with the Top It Off. And cure 30 seconds. Hey, come on, lamp. So I just took my wedding bands off so I didn't scratch up the metal plate in my lamp. So if you're wondering why my hand suddenly didn't have a ring on it, that is why. Because the only time I ever take off my wedding bands is whenever I'm doing my nails or whenever they're getting cleaned or inspected at the jeweler's. I pretty much never take off my rings. So I had an incident where my husband had seen that I had my rings off while I was doing my nails, and he was shocked. He's like, "You never take your rings off," and he'd asked me why. And I explained, I was like, well, I mean, this is a very expensive nail lamp that you got me for Mother's Day 2 years ago, and I didn't want to scratch up the metal plate. And at that moment he understood, but he was still very shocked because I never take my wedding band off, ever. Not even to do dishes. It takes a beating. I refuse to take it off because I'm so afraid of losing it generally that I just don't take it off. So, and I've already broke the dang thing more times than I care to count because I'm so hard on my hands. I have broke the band so many times that the insurance on it has sent it in plenty of times, and they have reinforced the band on the sides instead of the bottom, and have more than doubled the thickness of the band. Because I keep breaking the dang thing. So you see how thick that is. Yeah, I've broke it so many times that the jewelers are like, we're just gonna make this band very thick and hope and pray that you won't need our warranty again anytime soon. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of stringing this milky base into the gel top coat. And this is what we're going to create the fog with. Okay, so now that I've put top coat on and cured it, so that way it will not cause problems with the stamps, we're just going to apply our fog. So go in and just kind of pick random places, just kind of drag it across the nail in no particular order. And then once you're done applying the fog how you want on the nail, then you can throw it in a lamp for 30 seconds. And cure it. Okay. going to get ambushed. I had recently had one of the cats nearby, and she kept trying to get into my lap and be a little helper. Just making sure I'm not going to get ambushed again. So, this is what it looks like. And then we're going to go in with all of the other nails and do the same and cure. And this is quite the tedious process here. Now, with the witch, I try to do quite a bit at the bottom to try to balance it out. Because it does feel a little imbalanced when it's that high up. But she's flying in the sky. You want it to look like she's actually flying through fog and clouds and all of that. So I'm trying to make sure that it has that effect. And we'll go ahead and put a little bit up over the witch itself. Just a little bit, not a lot. You want it to look like she's flying through it, but you don't want to obscure the actual image. Then we're going to go in and we're going to make it look like there's fog rolling in over the graveyard and on that ring finger. So there's a nice lovely fog rolling in. Do the same on the pinky. Go in and have this nice lovely fog. Just going up across in random places. Have it up over the bats a little bit. Just have fun with it. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can spread it around, smear it in, add some swirlies. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then clean your brush off after you're done with acetone, because you have actual polish in there, not just gel. So you want to make sure that you have acetone in there. And then cure. And then after you're done curing your fog, you've got all of your nails done, you want to top it off with your matte top coat. Now these top coats are not wipe free. You will need to have some isopropyl alcohol to wipe off the tacky layer. So we will do that here momentarily. Excuse me. Had a hiccup. Okay, so we're going to go in with our matte top coat and do a layer of gel matte. You may have to do 2 coats depending on how well it decides to cover, but it's not entirely necessary. You will probably only need 1. So if you find that when you wipe the tacky layer off, you can do a very light buff on it, and do another layer if it did not cover the entire nail. Though it should. Let's see here. Grab my isopropyl alcohol. Yeah, we got it. Though I do need to clean up this little bit of polish off to the side on my finger. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to top coat the rest of these. Or I'm just going to dip my finger in polish. I probably should clean off my palette before I do that. Alright, currently see an issue that I need to deal with. So, I accidentally cured a little bit of gel a little too far over. That is okay. I can fix it. So, I'm going to take my nippers, and I already clipped the bulk of it, and I'm just going to nip the excess. This works now that I'm in the top coat step, and can cover up the nip lines with it. I will have to clean those now. Okay, but you don't want to top coat it while it's still, I'm still dipping my finger in the gel. I'm going to clean that up before I stick that in the lamp. Go in, put top coat on the remaining fingers. I am so klutzy this week. It's absolutely awful how klutzy I have been this week. It has not been a good week for me on that front. Let's top coat. Cat hair. Cat hair. Come on, off the brush. There we go. It's not nail art if it doesn't have cat hair, right? At least not in this house, it's not. It has to have cat hair. Because why not have pet glitter? Okay, so there we are. I'm going to clean off my finger where I accidentally dipped it in my polish mixture. And I'm going to get a fresh cotton ball and clean this more because I don't trust it. And I'm going to have cured gel on my finger, and I don't want a gel allergy. Okay. There we go. Clean up that finger. Okay, so I'm also going to clean up my palette because I've dipped my finger in that way too many times now. And I don't need what's on it anymore. Okay. There we are. Nice clean palette. Put that up. Put my base, put my top coat away. Okay, so I've got my nice little isopropyl alcohol bottle here. And I have a nice little pump bottle that I got from Dollar Tree. And we're going to clean off the tacky layer. And there we are. There's our finished product. And we have a lovely little witch Manny flying over a graveyard, graveyard scene, and that is glow in the dark and thermal. Look at that. And you can see the fog really nice. So thank you all for watching. I hope to see you again. Bye.